Hello everyone, Daryl the Northern Vinyl Guy coming at you with another Sunday summary. And in this week's episode, I had some spins this week of a Torontonian band, a musician that kind of come up with his own soundtrack, and a 1980s heartbreaker compilation, all coming up here on Sunday Summary. Hello everyone, Daryl the Northern Vinyl Guy, and let's get this Sunday summary started by saying if you like my series, my content, leave me a thumbs up on this episode. If you are a returning customer, I appreciate you coming back video after video. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe, click that bell for some notifications, and leave some comments down in the section below. So yeah, let's check this out. The way that I do this series is I started off with a Canadian band. I will follow it up with a soundtrack, a compilation, and then a good overall play that I had this week, and then some other records that I might have listened to throughout the week. And this week I've got, what do I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think it is. So yeah, 6 major records that I have played throughout the week. And so here we go. So my Canadian play of the week is the Torontonian band Frozen Ghost. And I believe that this is a self-titled, yes, this is their self-titled album. And this is the one that has the song Should I See on it. And this, of course, is on the Atlantic label. I will take this this out of the sleeve here. This is on the backside. But this album here is straight up pop and rock from this Canadian band featuring Arnold Lanni and Wolf Hassel of Toronto. Features the song, as I mentioned, Should I See, which was, I wouldn't say controversial, but what it did was it focused on this idea of censorship. And basically the band, you know, they didn't care if you were going to censor, don't tell don't tell me what I can do. Government's kind of telling you what you should see and what you can do. And yeah, no, so that was kind of a rebuttal to this. It's followed off by the song Promises, Beware the Mask, Yum by Ya, and then Love Like a Fire. Now, Should I See is probably my favorite song on this, but to start off, side 2 is the song End of the Line, and I think that that is a great song. And then Time is the Answer, Love Without Lies, Soldier's Cry, and Truth and Lies. Frozen Ghost, not relatively known outside of Canada, but if you do have a chance to check them out, they do have a few albums out there. Good stuff. Frozen Ghost, out of Toronto. That was one of my plays this week. Now, in my soundtrack category, I had mentioned in the intro that the artist here did his own movie and soundtrack. And of course, this one is going to be Prince and the Revolution and the Purple Rain soundtrack. And I mean, this one here is fantastic from start to finish. I received this album actually recently locally for free from a collection that someone was trying to just give away. And so this was a steal of a deal. Of course, this is on the, it's got the inner sleeve. Really cool. And then the vinyl itself. I always think that that label there is really neat. But yeah, no, this one has, obviously it has the title track, Purple Rain. It has When Doves Cry. It has Let's Go Crazy. Darling Nikki, of course, which was very controversial, about prostitution and other things. And then I Would Die for You is on the back side. So yeah, no, this is a great one here by Prince and the Revolution. I personally haven't seen the movie itself. Perhaps one day I will check it out. Let me know what you all think of the movie. I have not, like I said, I have not seen it. Is it worth my while? I am an 80s movie fan. I just have never got around to watching the Purple Rain movie itself. All right, now up to the compilations part of my video. I know that compilations for audiophiles and a few other people are not everybody's cup of tea. However, I grew up with mixed CDs and mixed tapes and stuff like that. And so for me, I do have quite a bit of compilations. And it is without anyone's surprise, if you've been watching some of my previous videos, that I do like K-Tel records. And this one here is no different. A K-Tel record called Heartbeat of the 80s. Let me know in the section below if you've ever had this particular album. There's the back side. Gotta love those heartbeat waves there. But this one has some great stuff. It's got some Eddie Rabbitt on it. It's got Bryan Adams, Straight from the Heart. Charlene's I've Never Been to Me, the one-hit wonder. You've got some Willie Nelson, Always on My Mind, Bertie Higgins, Key Largo, a little bit of yacht rock there, some Heartbreaker by Dionne Warwick, Dan Fogelberg's Make Love Stay, and then Midnight Blue by Eric Robertson. That is side one. And then you've got some Bonnie Tyler on side two, Sergio Mendes, Marvin Gaye's Sexual Healing, Kenny Loggins, Welcome to the Heartlight, Barry Manilow, the Tim Finn, Al Jarreau, We're in This Love Together, and Laura Branigan, How Am I Supposed to Live Without You, which was later covered by, of course, Michael Bolton. And so, yeah, no, that is some great stuff. Obviously, they like to shorten it, radio edit, or even shorter. So, yeah, there's my compilations listen for the week. Now, a good listen. If you are into industrial music, I do have a few industrial bands in my collection. Not too many, but my favorite industrial band. And I don't know why they became my favorite band. I remember the first time I heard them was on MTV's Beavis and Butthead. And that is the band Ministry. And their album, Psalm 69. I forget the whole thing behind it, The Way to Suck Eggs or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is. This one here is on Sire Records. It's got the angel on the front, which is funny because in a previous video from last week, the one where I did the skulls, one of their other albums has a skull on it. So they go from angels to skulls. On the back side is the skull again with the track listing on it. And of course, this album had a few hits from it that were definitely shown on Much Music and MTV and stuff like that. NWO, or New World Order, which is the first song on side one. That was one of them. Just One Fix, with its controversial video. It's about heroin and heroin addiction. Of course, Al Jorgensen from the band is at one time, I think he said he's recovered, but he was heavily into the drugs, heavily into the scene in the 80s and the 90s. I do believe he overdosed on heroin at least once, but Just One Fix, there's a controversial scene in the video in which two young boys go into this sleazy hotel because they're withdrawing, and of course the one kid pukes in the video, which was disgusting. And then, of course, the idea was they were going to this hotel to try to get their fix, their drugs. So yeah, I mean, if you're not into that, then you might not be into this, but it's a good song. Then TV2 follows that up, and then Hero, and then to close out side one is Jesus Built My Hot Rod, which is probably their most well-known single, I would think. And then side two has Scarecrow, the title track Psalm 69, Corrosion, and then the last track is Grace, which I could take or leave. The rest of the album I think is fantastic, but that last track, Grace, is just not for me. So yeah, Ministries, Psalm 69. If you're into industrial music, even if you're not, check it out. If it's too loud for you, what can I say? All right, now, polar opposite of this, we are moving back to the 1960s. In my video, which was about suits and ties, I did show this Raftsman 3 album, a Quebec-based band. I believe they were out of Montreal. At this point in their career, they started in the early 60s. I think they formed in the late 50s, early 60s. They went through a variety of iterations. I think at some point they had 5 members of the band, maybe even more. They could sing and speak, I believe it was in like multiple languages, up to 13 languages they performed in and stuff like that. Kind of crazy when you think about it. But by the late 60s, this iteration on their On Target album, there was just the 3 members of the band, Don, Stephen, Lou LaRue, and Guy Collette. And of course, this is on a label that I'd never seen before. This is on Banff Records, Banff being a location out in Western Canada, a product of Rodeo Records. Now this one here, they did have a couple of singles, Hands I Love, and I believe it was Haunted House. There you go, we got the band on this side. Not a well-known band outside of Canada, but this is, I would compare this to like a mix of, say, Dion and the Belmonts, maybe with a little bit of the Searchers and a little bit of the Seekers. I don't know how to explain it. Definitely some folk rock and roll stuff here. But no, it's pretty cool stuff. I would even say like the very first song on side 1, Man About Town, kind of has a honky-tonk feel, like an old saloon piano to it. So just various styles of music that are on here, but very synonymous with that 1960s rock and roll stuff. So there you have it, Raftsman 3 out of the province of Quebec. And then my final pick for today, I had mentioned once in a video that this might be one of my most trashed albums. At this point in time, I readjusted my arm and my skid tracking on my record player, and since I've done that, I haven't had any skips or pops or anything. And so I think one of the issues with this Amy Grant's Heart in Motion was that my needle and my arm weren't set properly. And so today, yesterday, I had listened to this record, which is on A&M. So just the vinyl itself. I mean, the sleeve is definitely water damaged, a little bumpy, and definitely got some ring wear on it. But it played fantastic, not a single skip, very little pops on this one now. So I think just by adjusting the needle, like I said, just adjusting my arm, helped this. This was a huge hit in the late 80s and early 90s with Good For Me, Baby Baby, Every Heartbeat, That's What Love Is For. And then, of course, the song Galileo finishes off side 1. And then she did have a couple of other singles on here, Hats and I Will Remember You, which is often shown in Remembrance Day videos and things like that. How Can We See That Far and Hope Set High. Great album. If you haven't heard, I would check Amy Grant out. Yeah, she was a Christian singer. She still continues to be a Christian singer, married to Vince Gill. But, I would say that this is probably her most pop-like music. So even if you aren't into the Christian scene, this is a great album to check out. So Amy Grant, these are my plays for the week. Let me know what you thought of these records. And we will see you on the flip side. Once again, if you enjoy my content, if you are a new watcher to the channel, please click the subscribe button. If you are a continued viewer, please thank you for supporting my channel. leave some comments in the section below, leave some thumbs up, click the subscribe button, ding that bell, and we will see you next time. Have a good one, everyone.